Right, so this video is the answers to the user profile project. I'm not going to go through the details of actually making this, but I'll explain how everything works, and you can find the details of the code on the website. So the basic folder structure is going to be similar to what we've used before. We're going to have our CSS folder, and this time we're actually going to have two files in there. One for our checkbox styles that I was telling you about that are a little tricky. And then our main .css file just for some general formatting. We're not going to have to do very much here though. Then we're going to have our JavaScript file and then our two HTML files. So our JavaScript file is actually a little longer than you'd expect, but this is mostly just getting and setting user data. So I'll first walk through this HTML here. So we're just linking to the same style sheets here. And this is all just HTML. So you can look up what a lot of the stuff is, but this will help you just create and format things a little bit more easily. And a lot of this is just out of the box HTML formatting. So as you can see here, this field set, the legend is what shows up here. This is a field set here. And you can come down and read, okay, here's your interests. This is using a form interest so that you can check multiple things. That way when you click it, it automatically is recorded. And then you have interests here and you have additional notes here and then a text area for those notes. If we go to the profile page, it's going to be similar. We're just going to use a bunch of pretty unformatted paragraphs here. So this is just going to be a simple way so that we can change the value of these different paragraph tags and put it all in place. So now to the JavaScript file. So some of this you've already seen before. But basically, as soon as the program loads, we're going to automatically populate the different options for location. So that's coming from this list here. And we're just going to create a for loop that goes through the list and appends it to the HTML element with the ID location. So it's going to append this option here as well as here. So this one's for location, this one's for interest. And we're going to submit the user profile. So this function is going to run when the submit button is clicked. So the first thing it's going to do is it's just going to get the first name and the last name using JQuery and the .value method. So this is going to be the first name and the last name. And this corresponds to our HTML. Put this up to the side and bring it over here and make it a little cleaner. So this has the ID first name, ID last name, and as you can see here, it corresponds to the ID first name and last name. This is the same thing. It's basically just getting. This is using the variables, and here I showed you just a different way to do it. You can put the JQuery directly in this local storage method. What this local storage method is saying is it's setting the variable, it's creating a variable called first name in local storage, and it's setting this variable first name equal to it. So here we got the first name, and in this line of code, it's setting a new variable or declaring a new variable called first name and setting the value of that to equal to first name. We're doing the same thing here with a cell phone. So we're declaring a new variable called cell, and we're then going in and getting the value from the cell phone here. So this ID cell corresponds to this ID cell here and the value. So this is just storing all of the data in the user form. So this one's a little funky, but this is basically just getting the different, this is the way to get the different interests since there's multiple checkboxes. from the multiple checkbox values. So this will get it from the checkboxes. So you're going to have your checkboxes under interests, which are here. But since we're dynamically creating the interests, this is the way we're going to go through it. So what this is basically saying is interest is equal to the document.forms, and look here for the forms. So this is the form. So this is saying, okay, in the document, we're going to look for the first form. That first form is this interest. All right, so interest is now equal to that form. And we're going to create a new variable called selected interest, and we're going to make that an empty list. And we're going to go through the form that we created with each of the different checkboxes. And for each one, we're going to see whether or not it's checked. So if interest is checked, and this is a special form definition or method, then we're going to add the value from interest to our list. So this is a little complicated, but basically it's looping through each checkbox, saving it selected, and then adding it to selected interest. And then down here, we're adding this variable, or declaring this variable selected interest, and setting it to all the interest that the person checked. So a little complicated, but this is a way to do it. And then finally, at the end of this program, it's changing the window, it's changing the reference, i.e. where the window is located, to this new profile.html page. So this is basically taking us from the index homepage to the profile page. Then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to run this function called load profile. So when the user goes to the profile.html page, we want to load it with the information that was just submitted. So we're going to create a function called load profile. We're going to, again, you can use this in different ways, but we're basically going to use local storage.getItem and then the variable that we declared previously. So here we're declaring a variable cell, and we're setting it equal to whatever the user put in. And down here, we're getting that same variable from local storage cell, and we're setting it the user cell equal to that value. And then we're going to do that across all the different variables that we created. So this is creating the actual function, and this is going to actually call the function. So this way, I'll actually load when we go to this profile.html page. You know, definitely a lot of text here, as well as here. There's a lot of different ways to do this. There's a lot of different ways to format this. So this is just one way. If you did it a different way, that's probably more than fine, as long as it works. That's what we're looking for. So that's the end of this project, and we'll see you in the next video.